Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Oodua Nation.
Good evening to all our viewers out there. Good evening to every single soul, everywhere you are, every individual. You're very much welcome. This is Crystal African TV working together with Heritage Television. You are welcome to today's broadcast. Today's show is a very, very important one. So I'm inviting every one of you to please join in. I want you to please assist me by sharing it to all platforms. This is a different show entirely. I have a guest in the house, someone that you've never met before, someone that will be talking you through some new things about Oodua Nation, Yoruba Nation. So please be seated. I want you to invite all and sundry to join this broadcast. It's very, very important because you're going to learn a new thing today. And for that reason, I'm inviting every one of you. Good evening once again. You all know me as Erelu Abike Ade. And today, like I said, I'm going to be interviewing one of our mothers, one of our intelligent, brilliant, sought after, one of our Yoruba mothers. From Ilana Omo Oodua. You have never met her before. Probably you may have come across her somehow, but I'm telling you, you will be meeting her for the first time. She will be featuring here for the very first time, and you have all the time in the entire world to sit down, sit back, relax, and answer any question of concern. So I want to welcome you once more. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí wà lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin onílé àti àlejò ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Àkànṣe nínú ètò ni tí ó máa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, and I'm sure it's something that all of you has been expecting. You've heard about this wonderful woman. She's a real gem, and I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about her, and I'm sure a lot of you want to meet her 101, and this is an opportunity for you. Please join me. I want you to like the page Crystal African Television as well as Heritage TV. Like our pages and then follow us on daily basis. You're very much welcome once more. I'm going to welcome my guests all the way from UK, Nigeria, America, China, worldwide. She's a woman that we've been looking for. Fortunately, we have the opportunity to grab her today out of our very, very tight schedule. So let us welcome my beautiful, intelligent, sought after, wonderful, humble lady, a mother and a wife, Mrs. Shola Salako, into our space. Ma'am, you are very much welcome. Thank you for joining us here this evening. I have been looking for you. I have been searching everywhere for you. I've been waiting that one day, God will answer my prayer. And this is the day the Lord has made. You're very much welcome, beautiful. I'll call you Mrs. Shola Salako, but you're very beautiful inside and out. So you're welcome to this talk show tonight. And I want you to use this opportunity to introduce yourself. We want to get to know you in full, your full name and where you are from. I don't know if you speak my language, but as you can see that I am quite struggling speaking this Oyibo, Obodo Oyibo, because I'm from the source, which is the Europa. But please introduce yourself to us and welcome your audience.
Thank you, Erelu. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me this platform to get to know all of our people, wherever they are in the world. My name is Shola Salako. I am resident in the UK. I was born in the 60s. I am I'm of the Yoruba sub-ethnic group. I'm Awori. I grew up in the UK, so I did my little bit of my primary school in the UK, my secondary school in the UK as well, here. And then I went on to do a BSc and a master's. I also did some professional qualifications because I work in the field of finance. And where you work in a professional capacity, you have to be qualified. I am blessed with a wonderful family and a very supportive husband. Now, one of the questions I want to answer, you haven't asked because you're too polite and you're very kind, is why, but I've heard this question, so I'm going to tell you my story. There's many people who have said, why don't you speak Yoruba? So let me tell you the story. I am of the generation of people raised in the UK, because I was born in Lagos, raised in the UK in the 70s and 80s. And at that time, there was a thinking that if you spoke Yoruba, if your mother spoke Yoruba to you, then it would affect the way you spoke English. I think the thinking was it would spoil your English. So when I was growing up, we were not allowed to speak Yoruba in the house. The only people that spoke Yoruba was my parents. If you spoke Yoruba, my mother's, I don't know, anyone with a Yoruba mother will know that hand will come from somewhere that you didn't even see it coming from. And will connect with you. And for many years, when I eventually realized, for many years, I resented it. When I eventually grew up and realized, I resented it. But I found out that she was part of a generation of people. It wasn't just her. I met other people like me who had Yoruba parents, were raised in the UK and other parts of Europe, and because of the belief that they had, they didn't speak Yoruba to their children. Now, so having come to realize that there was a thinking in that time, I've come to peace with the decision my mother made in the 70s and 80s. So what am I saying? I'm begging, I'm imploring, please, Yoruba people, wherever you are, speak your language to your people. A language is the store of culture, it's the store of tradition, it's the store of all that a people are. And do not make the mistakes of the parents who are now in their 70s, some of them in their 60s, even 70s, 60s, who are now in their 60s, their 70s, and their 80s. Do not make the mistake that they made. Speak your language to your children. Do like the Indians do. I have an Indian friend. He speaks one language, his wife speaks another language. His children speak both languages. In fact, he said to and when I said, sorry, I can see you're speaking, but I can't hear you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
Are you telling us that because you're not allowed to speak Yoruba during your childhood days, so that is why you're unable to speak it fluently? But can you tell us if you can speak a little bit of it, or is it difficult? Or true, you cannot speak a bit of Yoruba at all?
So where I am is, so remember that you're not allowed to speak it, but you can hear them speaking it in the house. So I can understand, and I can speak it a little bit. Now, the challenge I have, as anyone who has studied Yoruba will know, is it's a tonal language. So you have to get the tone right. Because, for instance, a word like oko, there's oko for the man, there's oko for the car. Do you see? Yoruba is a tonal language. So you have to get the tone right. So my challenge with the language is getting the tone right. So yes, I can speak it a little bit, but my understanding is much better than speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Salako. Having said that, can you please tell us where exactly are you from? From the part of Yoruba land. Which of the states are you from? And tell us the town exactly where your parents come from.
Okay, my mother's side is from Odo town, and the father's side is from Isaleko. So that's where they both come from. I've been to Ondo town, and I've been to met my mother's relatives many years ago. Some of these people are long past, and clearly I know my father's family.
So, if I speak Ondo language to you now, are you telling me that you understand what I'm saying? If I start to speak that language to you.
No, because when I was in Ondo, what was one of the things I noticed? I said to my aunt, "Tell me that I'm struggling to understand them." Shola, she said, "These people, they're speaking Ondo dialect too."
Yes, the Ondo indigens, all Ondo that I know, that I've come across in my entire life, they are very, very educative and intelligent people, and they are quite subtle. And the way you talk to me, you're very subtle. You can't compare yourself with me because I'm very loud. You are subtle, and honestly, I struggle to even hear you sometimes. So I admire you. You're welcome, madam. Thank you so much. Having said that, for the fact that you do not speak this Yoruba fluently, so how come you're interested in this Yoruba struggle, this emancipation struggle of Yoruba? How come you're interested in it?
Okay, it's a journey. It's a journey. Now, having spent many years in the UK, I came to realize that I would never be English. I also came to realize, and I started reading, that what I had believed about Nigeria was not true. I came to realize as well, my name is clearly says I'm Yoruba. I came to realize that as an African and a Black woman, all of us living in the diaspora have part of our story is some form of discrimination and racism. It's just, how it is. So I started reading about Yoruba history. I started reading about our people, and I started listening to some elders. What I came to realize was that I am Yoruba first and last. I came to realize that the Yorubas are an ancient people, one of the very first people on that continent we call Africa. So we predate this contraption we call Nigeria. And I also came. I remember I said to you that although we didn't speak Yoruba, or we weren't allowed to speak Yoruba, in every other way, it was the Yoruba household. The food, the clothes, in every other way was Yoruba culture. And I came to realize that how very proud I was. And as part of this journey of self-discovery, I came also to realize that I needed to give thanks to our ancestors. I needed to give thanks to Olodumare for the awakening that over a decade I had been happening. That's how, so this is, when I say it's a journey, it's still a journey. I'm still discovering, I'm still learning, and I'm still reading.
Thank you, Mrs. Salako. My next question is very simple. Can you please tell us what Ilana Omo Oodua is? And I want you to speak a little bit of this Yoruba, if you can. Maybe you can miss it. What is Ilana Omo Oodua? Because in the past, we had of YWC, we had of different groups, Afenifere, Yoruba, One Voice, and so on and so forth. But what, I don't know the meaning. What does that stand for? Can you please educate us?
Ilana Omo Oodua means effectively the Yoruba, the way forward, Yoruba, the path forward. And Ilana Omo Oodua was born out of, so if I go back to your question, YWC. So if I'm going to go back a little bit further to the autumn of 2019, when Professor Banji Akintoye was, was chosen as the leader of the Yoruba nation. He then went on to a man, incidentally, I cannot speak more highly of him. One of the things that that man is a man of vision. He gives me hope. I remember when I first heard about his inauguration. I just, you know how you do, I went on Google to look it up. Wow, professor of history, written this, written that. Anyway, back to YWC. As you know, they formed YWC, and I suppose what we need to remember is that it's a nationalist group which was formed by patriotic sons and daughters. And that's something that's new to the environment. And what that meant was that the establishment of such an organization would send, and it did send, shockwaves through the system, through the contraption we call Nigeria. So, and as a consequence of that, Professor Banji Akintoye formed Ilana Omo Oodua. I'm a great admirer of him. I respect him like I can't, on so many levels that I can't explain. And having formed Ilana Omo Oodua, we are now moving forward, and we are grateful and thankful to Olodumare and our ancestors as we move forward.
Thank you for that short introduction. Thank you so much. So, because your Yoruba is not that very, very sound, and I just want you to tell us if by any chance you have lived in Nigeria or in Yoruba land for you to be so much interested in this struggle.
Yes, I have. I lived there for the first decade of my life, and I have family there, so I'm there several times a year to visit my family. And we all know that for many people, and certainly for the Yorubas, family is very important. And it's the same for me, just like with others. So my family, and it's funny that you say this, because my family is no different from other Yoruba families in that we all have people who are overseas in different countries. So we have family who are, so people have family who are in the US, people have family who are in lots of other different countries. And so we are no different. And I simply am an arm of the family that is in the UK. However, where I am, as you know, doesn't change the fact that I'm Yoruba. We have to remember, I'm giving an example here, that the Jewish nation was much of the work for the Jewish nation was done by the people in the diaspora. So the diaspora is key. And many of those people were not born in Israel. And even today, the way that I'm a great admirer of the Jewish nation, the way they lobby for and ensure that the interests of Israel are paramount wherever possible is an example to us all. So being in Nigeria or being at home, being in UK, being in France, being in Germany, in fact, doesn't simply gives you additional instruments to enable you to fight and to work for the people at home. And before I kind of finish this bit, the last set of numbers that I saw was that $24 billion leaves the diaspora to go to home every year. Do you know how much that represents? I think that's, if it's not the largest, it's in the top 3 of how much money the diaspora sends home every year. So what that tells you, and when I say the 24 billion, most of the people sending that are the Yorubas and the Igbos. So the fact that we're outside of, in fact, some would even argue that it is us that is sustaining our people at home.
Thank you, Mrs. Shola Salako. For those of you that are just joining us for the very first time, this is our model telling us, educating us about Ilana Omo Oodua. And her name is Mrs. Shola Salako. She is very, very much into this Ilana Omo Oodua. She is hands-on on it, and that is why I'm trying to get few points, important reason why she engages herself in this struggle, to be honest. Auntie Shola, thank you once again, but I wanted to ask this question earlier on, that what have you seen or what have you noticed that really brought your interest, that caught your attention into this Yoruba struggle? There must be a particular reason. There must be a particular, thing that actually drives you, that makes you think, oh, I want to, go into this struggle for my Yoruba nation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So one of the things that there's lots of things. I mean, if I would be here till tomorrow to explain all the many reasons that brought me to this struggle. One of the things that I have seen, and I think it was 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, when I was at home, I was in Lagos Island, and there was a woman who was begging very aggressively, and she didn't look like any of us. And I asked somebody, I said, where's she from? And she didn't speak English, she didn't speak Pidgin, she didn't speak any of the local languages. So they told me that she's from Niger Republic. Now, many of our people, there's some things I've seen which I don't really, it's very upsetting for me. Many of our people in Lagos Island, it's not just in Lagos Island, but I know best about Lagos Island. The level of poverty, even to see it, is enough to make you want to cry. So, and when you see it, in the midst of plenty, I was, again, earlier this year, before the lockdown, I was at home, and I wanted to take pictures. And then I thought, no, you can't take pictures of this, because it's not right, and they have their dignity, despite the fact that in front of their house is gutter, despite the fact that you see children less than 10 carrying buckets of water on their head because there's no running water, despite the fact that you see people, can you imagine, One time when earlier this year, one little boy of 3 shouting up NEPA. And I'm like, 2020, no lights, up NEPA. And this little 3-year-old. So the thing I'm thinking is, how many generations of our children will be carrying buckets of water to get water? How many generations of our Yoruba children will be shouting up NEPA when providing electricity is not hard? It's not hard. It's easy. And the reason, for instance, that we don't have electricity, we don't have water, the Yoruba nation doesn't have a decent education system is because Nigeria is not a country. We need to always remember Nigeria was created as from something called the Royal Niger Company. In fact, I think they still even use the same emblem. It was an economic decision. So, as an economic decision, there was no thought to the people who were living in that space, and that is manifested and it shows itself in the lack of basics. And then the other thing as well, I don't want to be. I don't want to get particularly emotional, but I've lost members of my family because of the lack of healthcare. Something that's so simple that if you caught it in a place where there was decent healthcare, you would be treated and you would recover. But that's not the case at home, and that mustn't continue. I lost a brother when he was only 21. How do you lose a brother? And there's no autopsy to tell you what he died of. He just died and that was it. And we should just move on. What kind of nonsense is that? So there's many, many, many reasons why I'm here. And one of the things that I've learned, and this is what I've learned from living in the West, only you can solve your problems. Only you. Nobody's coming from the sky. Nobody's coming from wherever. Only you can solve your problem. Only we, the Yorubas, can solve the Yoruba problem. Nobody's coming to do it for us. Only we. And I consider it a privilege that I have the strength, the energy, the resources to be part of this struggle, this time. And I also consider that we are blessed as a Yoruba nation, that we have someone like Professor Banji Akitoye to lead us.
You, Mrs. Shola Salako, and I'm very, very sorry for the loss of your family members and those people around you. It really, really touches me. I'm very, very sorry to hear all that. And thank you for being a genuine mother, a woman that sees it all. You've seen it all, and you think this is a time for you to fight a fight for your generation. And we do appreciate you. Everybody out there, I believe, do appreciate you. I've been reading some comments there, and I can tell you that people genuinely love you, your passion. Thank you, ma, for coming this evening. Please, can I tell everybody out there, please, show some love to our mother, Mrs. Salako, Shola Salako, for a great job well done. Please let us share this program. Let us share this broadcast. It's not going to be too long. So I need you to please share it to every platform so that at least we all know what Ilana Omo Oodua stands for. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being part of this wonderful broadcast. Once again, I would like to ask further question from our mother, Mrs. Shola Salako. And I'm sure you will be upset if I'm asking you too many questions, because we really want to get to know you. I want to get to, find out where you are right now with that struggle. And that will take me to that next question to say, what have you done? What have you done in this struggle, in the emancipation of this Yoruba struggle, that you can actually tell us? What exactly can you pinpoint that you've done, to support this struggle, this self-determination, everything that you've been telling us? Honestly, I was a little bit emotional, but I have to hide my face, my eyes. I don't want people to see me with what you've narrated earlier on. However, what have you done? evidence-based to support this agitation. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to thank you very much. That's a fantastic. That's a really good question. One of the things that the professor said was that we are a peaceful people, and he's right. We are a peaceful people, and we will get a Oodua Republic through non-violent means. What does that mean? One of the things that I have done is to, with our people, one of the people at home, is to make the application that was successful for the UNPO. Now, why does that matter? Because one of the things I came to realize is that even if you have a war and you have to talk, and you have to come to diplomacy table. So one of the things I realized is that diplomacy is key, and part of diplomacy is letting the international community know that the Yoruba nation, and this is what UNPO does, it tells the nation has been exited as a separate sovereign nation apart from the country. That is really, really, if you national, you need that recognition, and that's what that does. And some of you have known that the also organization. What you'll have is that in August this year, we said with Catalonia, some of you will know about Catalonia and what is happening in Spain. So that's one of the things that I did. That took us the best part of a year, because it's. And the other thing that and I count that as our achievements. The other thing that I have done is it now have diaspora chapters in quite a few countries, and as time goes on, we're beginning to have more and more diaspora chapters in different countries. Because one of the things that I realized, and it's something I've learned, I come to realize that if the Yorubas are not in every nation in the world, they're in nearly every nation. They really are nearly every nation. So those who are interested in, wish to be part of the movement to bring forth a Yoruba nation, then they should please get in touch, because that's one of the things that we have been doing, continue to do, and will continue to do.
Thank you for your strength, and genuinely we sincerely appreciate you, ma'am, for all the good works you've been doing. It's only God that can reward you. I'm going to take you back a little bit, ma'am. Earlier on, you mentioned Baba Akintoye's name, and I was going to ask you, if you don't mind, that in what way, what manner, how did you come across Baba Akintoye? And I just want to find out, how much trust do you have in this man, Baba Akintoye himself, that you decided to work with him, closely with him? Can you tell us a little bit, ma'am? Thank you.
I was previously involved with Yolicom. And when you ask me about trust, I want to make it clear, I trust him implicitly, 100%. Do you know why? Because he has the vision, the wisdom, and the words to say what many of our people will not say. He understands, because he knows, as someone who has done extensive research on the Yoruba nation, on the Yoruba people, he understands us in a way that many do not understand us. And what he has said, and people can go online and have a look, is, having known the Yoruba nation from doing extensive research, living amongst them, he has also said and visualized that the only way, the only way for the Yoruba to move forward is a separate sovereign Yoruba nation. And I salute his courage because he repeats this and he says it in many different ways, fairly regularly in many different fora. And he's absolutely right, because if I take you back in history, one of the things that we forget is that in 1884 they had something called the Berlin West African Conference. In that conference, they divided the Yoruba nation, and from then we lost our sovereignty, which is part of the reason we're in the sorry state we are. They divided us. Germany took Togo, the French took Benin Republic, the English took the Yorubas in Nigeria. So from that time, we lost our sovereignty, the ability to govern ourselves, the ability to control our destiny. And then they renamed us. So some of us are now called Togolese, some of us are called Beninois, some of us are called Nigerians. And you know as well as I do that when you name a people, it changes them. It really does. So, and the professor understands, when I said I've been reading, I've read and I've read, and professor understands. He understands it on all levels, so many levels. So who am I to, what can I do except listen to, be guided by someone with that level of knowledge, understanding, wisdom. Like I said to you, I trust him implicitly, 100%. I cannot, and the other reason why I have a lot of respect for Baba Akintoye, one of the things he said, and I don't know if you saw it, one of the things he has said, and he's right, in our Yoruba culture, he says that women must be at the table when they're making decisions, and he has shown it by putting me in this position. The other thing he says that is the youth, and you'll see that the Ilana Omo Oodua has been doing lots of stuff with the youth. Now, why is this important? Because everything is generational, everything. And the reason I say this, the example I'll give you is this. I'm sure you know about England and Brexit, or the British and Brexit. Part of the reason why the Scots will leave the UK is because apparently they've been doing these, what do they call it? They've been doing these, what do you call it when you ask people? These opinion surveys. And it's the youngsters. Apparently it's 80% of the youngsters want an independent Scotland. So the youth, they have the energy, they have the drive, and it's their future. In 30 years' time, or in 40 years' time, if I'm in my 20s or my 30s, that is my future. And one of the things that I admire is that he understands that. That let me be the pathfinder for you, but I know it's your future, and I know that if I provide leadership and so on, then you will get there.
Thank you, madam. God bless you. God bless the womb that you came out from. Thank you so much for this. However, in the past, few months ago, we have been working with YWC, with Baba as the leader, and yourself, we had your name as international coordinator, diaspora coordinator. And all of a sudden, we heard about Ilana Oodua. What's the difference between the two? Are they still the same thing?
So there is some difference. I think the thing is that two things. One is that, do you remember the name Yoruba World Congress? It's not a Yoruba name. And from what I gather, the professor was under pressure by the elders and the Obas that how can the Yorubas say they have a nationalist group and they're using an English name? So there was a lot of pressure to have a Yoruba name, and hence Ilana Omo Oodua. The other thing is that, as you know, there was some, as I said earlier, the establishment of a Yoruba nationalist group sent shockwaves through the system. And it was a Yoruba nationalist group that was doing things, as you've seen, the UNPO, and then we've recently just had the constitutional force majeure. So what that meant was that there were people who were more interested in the Nigerian political system. So I suppose when he formed Ilana Omo Oodua, then it was for them, then there was a clear separation. These are the Yoruba nationalists who want, and it is effectively a congregation. Ilana Omo Oodua is a congregation of Yoruba nationalist groups. And then the people who wish to say with YWC, then you can carry on doing your Nigerian politics. Or you cannot, as you know, you cannot serve two masters. You either want a separate sovereign Yoruba nation that will bring the Yorubas to the 21st century, or you want to carry on doing Nigerian politics. And, you know, people make their choice.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to release you very soon, so don't get me wrong. Son, please can you come and open this door? Son, there's someone by the door. Right. I'm sorry about that. Now, the next question, madam, is why do you think we need Yoruba land need autonomous? Why do you think we need autonomous in Yoruba land?
I think what we need is a separate sovereign Yoruba nation. I think if you go, we since, as I said before, 1884 was when our problem started. And then in 1914, as you know, the colonizers decided that the British Exchequer didn't want to pay for the North because the North was a drain on the resources. What I'm saying is public knowledge. So people can go and either they can go to the National Archives in Kew or they can go to the British Library. So I'm not saying anything that people cannot find out for themselves. The British government decided that they didn't want to pay for the North, it was a drain on the resources, but the South was had resources. So they did what they called an amalgamation. Nobody was consulted, and it happened. And since then, the Yorubas have been, with other nations of the South, trapped nations, have been paying for Nigeria. Can you imagine that? Again, the other thing I want you to take, or I'd like people to take away, and again, this is out there for public knowledge, the economic backbone of the contraction we call Nigeria is Yoruba land. However, let's say there's 50 million of us or 40 million of us. Can you imagine that I'm the economic backbone, but nearly everything goes somewhere else? So why wouldn't my people, every day, the Yoruba people are dying of simple diseases. So let me tell you what I see if the Yorubas do not come out of Nigeria. And it's already started happening. Nigeria is almost 1 million square kilometers. Yoruba land is, I don't know, it's roughly about 200,000. It's about a quarter of it. Let me say a quarter because I don't have exact numbers to hand. Everybody comes to Yoruba land. Everybody. So what does that mean? And it's already happened in Lagos. The Yorubas are a minority. So if we are not careful, what happened to the American Indians may happen to us, because everybody comes to Yoruba land. Before we know it, you know, this language, everybody is, our language will go, our culture will go, and the places where we stay, they'll call them reserves. Is it reserves or enclaves or whatever? That's what we are facing. And we actually don't have a lot of time, because when I go home, more and more, even if you go to other parts of Yoruba land, everybody's coming to Yoruba land. So what does that mean? It means we will become, as we are in Lagos, a minority in our land. And you know as well as I do what that means when you become a minority in your land. You lose the little control we have now. We won't have it. Even our governors and our the politicians, they won't be able to get Yoruba politicians in Yoruba land, because if you're a minority, then the majority will vote for who they want, whether or not it's in Lagos, Ondo State, or wherever. And so if we don't, so that's why something, we need to do it. And the other thing as well we need to do is this. We need to remember this. As I said earlier, the colonialists separated us, and they told me that I'm now a Nigerian. Not that I asked for it to, and that I must call a Kanuri, a Hausa man, a Fulani man, my brother. But my real brother in Togo, in Benin Republic, who are now called Togolese, who are now called in Benin Republic, they're not my brother. Now, the Yorubas have no, and I have no, I don't dislike the Kanuri, the Hausa, the Fulani, but I do not share language with them. I do not share culture with them. So how can he be my brother before my brother that was separated from me just because of colonial lines that were drawn? So these things are very, very important. What we have today, we will not be there for our children unless we have a Yoruba nation. What I'm saying is self-evident. Go to even people who are from Lagos themselves, you hear them talking. Go to the parts of Yoruba land and you'll see what I'm saying. We are becoming a minority in our land, and that is not good for us. It is dangerous. And then apart from that, we also have what they call, it's not a constitution, by the way, it's a Sharia infested decree. I have read it. This is why I said I have actually read that nonsense they call the 99 constitution. That was also a real eye-opener for me. What that means is that, and what you can see is that they're feudalizing. You know what feudalism is? So the Yoruba culture is that everybody's born equal. Feudal means some people are born to enjoy life, and the masses should just suffer. In fact, the only thing they should have time for is to eat and go to sleep. Eat, go to sleep, and work. That is not what we are. And this is our opportunity as a nation who has built civilizations, who has built empires, who are one of the first people in Africa. This is our opportunity to have our own nation, and we must grab it with both hands.
Thank you so much, because I can see you're very, very passionate about what you're telling us, about what you know so much. And thank you for that education. So because you're telling us now that Yoruba needs to come together as one body and to fight this cause once and for all. Thank you so much for that appeal. And I'm still going to give you time to talk about that much later. But I'm rounding things up. However, I have this very, very important question that I need to ask you. Recently, madam, we heard about this force majeure. A lot of us, someone like me, I don't know what that means. A lot of us have been hearing it. It's a language, it's a language or whatever, or a sentence that does not make any meaning to most of us. And we need a little bit of education around that. And we've been hearing about this, and we heard that you are part of them. So can you a little bit tell us, educate us, enlighten us what that force majeure means and what it stands for, and what Yorubas as a body, as a whole, should be looking forward to, having with this force majeure?
Okay, so remember I said earlier that we are a peaceful people, and what that means is that there are many peaceful ways to dissolve a nation. And the constitutional force majeure is something that Tony Nandi of the Lower Niger Congress has been working on for many, many years. And the Yorubas were part of it. Now, if you remember when they had the proclamation, what it is the simplest way to explain it is it's a legal way to dissolve a nation. So what the nations in the Middle Belt, nations in the Yoruba nation, nations of in the South, the Ijaw nation, Ibibio nation, Igbo nation, etc. What they said was that we no longer recognize that Sharia-infested decree they call the 1999 Constitution. That's what they said. That's effectively what the proclamation said. It said lots of other things as well. We don't recognize it. It tells a lie about itself, which it does because nobody was consulted. Somebody wrote it somewhere. It says we the people. No, the people were not consulted. The people were not there when they were writing it. So it's a legal way to exit a union. And so when Tony Nandi read the proclamation, part of it is that we are now going to take this legal path and let the world know that we have started this legal procedure to exit the contraption Nigeria. Now, he gave the government 3 months, and what that means is that, and one of the things he said, which is really important, is as part of that constitutional force majeure, Nigeria has become, because if you look at it, the only part of the space that's not represented is the Arewa North. You know, the Sharia North. That's the only part. In fact, do you know something? If you read the nonsense that they call the 1999 Constitution, by the act of turning themselves to Sharia states in 2000, I think they did it. They effectively actually divided themselves from the Nigeria, but that's another story. But anyway, basically, so if the Middle Belt, the South, say we no longer want to be part of it, and that's what that says. And then the other thing it says is that if you're an international body, when you lend money to what you call Nigeria, we have no part of it. And you cannot, the Nigerian state, once that declaration was made, cannot use our assets as collateral for any loans they made. I'm sure you know they've been making many loans. They've been borrowing money. So that's why it's basically a legal path to exit Nigeria. And that proclamation and the other documents with it will be going to as Tony Nandi said, will be going to the UN, United States governments, the European Union, and various other important bodies. I don't know if you know that since then, there's been discussions, I'm not sure there's a US Senate, about appointing a special envoy for Nigeria, which would be fantastic. So I think the thing is, one of the things we must remember is that in 1966, a war was fought. In 2020, there are many tools available to us to extricate ourselves from this union of death, because that's what it is, a union of death. And this constitutional force majeure is one of the legal ways available to us.
Thank you, madam. We're just full of appreciation, if you know what I mean. A lot of our agitators are online. The likes of our father, Baba Rupoire, Uncle Fatai Oguribido, my boss of life, Heritage himself, Uncle Adejo is there, Uncle Akin is there. I can see quite a lot of people. Omo Oodua is there. A lot of agitators on this platform. And honestly, all of them, they were just writing, they couldn't stop writing good things about you. They love you because they said they cannot put face into that name. A lot of us had a lot of good things about you. You've done great work on us, on Yoruba agitation. We've been hearing your name everywhere, but we're unable to put face to that name. This is an opportunity for every one of us to get to know you. So everybody, they are saying a big thank you to you, madam, for a great job well done. We appreciate you genuinely from the bottom of everybody's heart, because to see a wonderful woman, a selfless woman, a fearless woman like yourself that is willing to serve her nation, you know, we have very few of you that are fearless. And so we appreciate you loads. Thank you, ma, for coming on this platform. Thank you so much. We heard, like I said, without repeating myself, that you've done quite a lot for this agitation. Now, as Diaspora International Coordinator, ma, what have you done to bring all Yorubas together, to work together as one body. What have you done? We have done quite a lot, even in the past, even before now, even you're still doing it. But what have you done, ma, to bring us together? Why I'm asking these questions is that we have so many groups, so many Yoruba groups. We more than 20 groups. We have few in UK. Back home, we have loads that I cannot mention. What have you done as the international diaspora coordinator to bring us all together? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for that question. And you actually lead me because I wanted to make 3 final points. My vision is to mobilize the entire Yoruba diaspora for the emancipation of the Yoruba nation. What we have done is we have set up chapters. We will continue to set up chapters. It's a work in progress. You know, Erelu, I'm so grateful for you inviting me here. One of the things that I've come to realize about myself is this is not comfortable for me. And I'm not much of a talker, I'm more of a doer. However, because this is our time, Olodumare is with us. You know, we must make the sacrifices, and we continue to make, not just me, there are so many people who continue to make the sacrifices in the many countries in which our people are. I'm sure you saw it in the rally on the 1st of October. And the other thing to note is that the mobilization for the diaspora continues daily with all of our people. The mobilization, but we are led. Let me please remind us, we are led by Professor Banji Akitoye at home. The second thing is, and one of the things that they've asked us to do for the diaspora is the 1st of January 2021 is 107 years since the amalgamation. So they've asked us in the diaspora, and I'm asking all those in the diaspora to mark it as a day of mourning, because it is a day of mourning. It is a day of sadness. So that's part of all these activities. They come to play a part in mobilizing the diaspora. And I want to thank all of our Yoruba. I'm so proud to be Yoruba. I'm so proud of our people, all of our people, online, offline, all of them, if our youths are home and the diaspora, all of our people, the way we have come together. One of the things is we need to be kind to ourselves. And I think we're not kind to ourselves enough. This journey, this is a big journey. And if you read history, you find out that you never get 100%, because, you know, it's the nature of humanity that there must be some people who dissent. So far in this journey, I have seen so much unity, so much love, so much consideration amongst our people. People I don't know and will probably never meet. They call the diaspora secretariat, they call us, and they offer. Can you imagine? Someone you don't know, they offer their help. So grateful, so thankful. Eshe pupo, eshe goni, eshe. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you are aware that people are complaining already. I've been reading through my other phone. They were saying, speak Yoruba, speak Yoruba. We appreciate you. You'll appreciate that at the beginning of this chat, I explained to you that our mother can speak a little bit of Yoruba, but she will prefer to express herself in this Gẹ̀ẹ́sì that you're hearing her speak from. So please bear with us. Even me that is interviewing her, I'm struggling myself because I don't speak the Oyibo that this woman speaks fluently. But I'm only trying myself to bring myself to a level to force myself to speak this Obodo Oyibo by force by fire. So please bear with us. It's not everybody that can speak it fluently. Even the Yoruba itself, not everybody can speak it fluently. but she's trying her best. So let us give it to her. Thank you, ma. So what you're telling us is that this memorable day, this sad day is coming up soon. How soon? When? What time? With this lockdown, how is it possible, ma? Kí gbogbo wa ká wá jáde láti lọ fúnra láti ṣe remembrance yìí, láti lè ṣe ìrántí àwọn ọjọ́ tẹ̀ ń sọ wọ̀nyí pẹ̀lú lockdown yìí. Ṣé yẹn ṣe é ṣe, ma?
Kò jáde.
La ṣe máa ṣe. How are we going to perfect it?
No, kò jáde. It's the 1st of January 2021. So that's 107 years since the amalgamation. A day of sadness. We know that we are in lockdown. So for instance, where I am, I'm in tier 4 lockdown. It's that Yoruba people should mark it wherever they are, however they can. Even if it's just to take a picture of yourself saying day of sadness and post it on Instagram, or day of sadness, any way you wish to mark it. We know that because of COVID-19, many people are in lockdown in wherever they are. So kojade, you don't have to come out you can do it in your house. Just let us, just so that we come out, because what Professor said is that they can't mark it at home because they'll be arrested. As you know, you saw how they killed our children in Lekki, and while they were saying they didn't do anything, when the stories kept changing. So they can't mark it at home. But we in the diaspora, we're in a privileged position. We can mark it whichever way works for wherever we are. So it's not that people must come out. Or maybe I didn't explain myself well. The new dilemma is, mark it how you can. 1st of January 2021.
Thank you, ma. You've all heard that. The amalgamation, the lamentation of that amalgamation is what our mother is talking about. And this is going to take place on the 1st of January. And she said now that we don't have to go out because of this lockdown. We can have it done in our own respective homes. We can talk about it, we can take pictures and so on and so forth, just to say that we remember that particular day. And that is what our mommy is asking from every one of us. And we should take notice of that, so that on the 1st, nobody, apart from this lockdown, 1st of January, nobody wants to start going out anyway if there's no lockdown. So her mother already said it. It's very, very easy that you can come out of your door and hold your phone and say something that you've observed. That's all our mother is asking from every one of us. Thank you so much for being part of this important chat. Thank you, ma. Because it's like we've been looking every nook and corner for you, and at last we're able to fish you out. Thank you so much, ma. On a lighter mood, ma, I want to ask you, as a mother, as a wife, where did you get your energy and time to do all this, to fight for our land, to do all this work? It's not easy. If you don't have brain, if you're not braining enough, you can't do what you're doing. And you're a wife and you're a mother. How do you cope with all this around you, ma?
Okay, I said at the beginning, I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I have a wonderful family and I have a supportive husband. So, and then I'm also blessed, and I sincerely believe that the ancestors are with us. Olodumare is with us. This is our time. So with all these blessings, it is, how do I say it? It is my duty to serve my people. It is my duty to serve. It is my duty to do what I can. And so that's what I seek to do. And by the grace of, the special grace of all that I hold dear, I am able to do it.
Thank you, ma'am. 2 more questions, and I'm going to open the phone line. If anybody has any question to ask our mother, she's so beautiful in and out, you know, very calm, very subtle. She's no trouble like me. Yeah, she's very calm. So we appreciate her, you know. If she's not calm, I'm sure she won't be able to do this job. If she's someone like me, she will have breakdown. But because she's very cool and calm, and you know, that is why she's been able to go this far. So we have to give it to her. So one more question, and I'm going to open the line for you guys. Mommy wa, me first sọ Yorùbá tó thick that you will not understand.
So Yoruba.
Okay, good. Mommy wa, so that ẹ sọ fún wa, kí ni oríṣiríṣi groups, like I said, nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ló wà. Gbogbo wa dẹ̀ wà lókè òkun. Even àwa tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀, à ń bára wa jà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ kan ṣoṣo that Yoruba wants to stand, you know, alone. We want to go. So, kí ni ìgbésẹ̀ tá à ń gbé láti rí wípé we love each other, we show love to each other, and that we are fighting for the same cause, and we shouldn't be fighting ourselves. Kí ni, as you know, as a head, because I see you as our head. And what are you doing? Because you must have had few. A lot of men are out there. Yes, they will say, "Oh, I don't want to work on that woman. How can she be the head? She can never be the head." Why is it that our men feel threatened when it comes to women leaving them? Because I don't see any reason why men would be feeling that way. What do I call them? Artificial or you know, whatever. I don't know why they are feeling that way. Because our mother is doing great exploit. She's doing very well. But some men feel, you know, like, you understand what I mean? Can you tell us why our men?
I think
express it enough. Because
I
it
think
really bothers me a lot when I see men saying, "Oh, Birini, mi ò lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ lábẹ́, mi ò ṣẹgbẹ́, mi ò ṣe this." All those kind of, you know, low self-esteem, let me call it that way. Why is that? How can we work on that?
I think you know, you ask a very good question. You know, I was laughing when you were talking.
Thank you.
Moreri, because I think you've answered the question as well, actually. One of it is some of these, the vast majority of our men are perfectly fine with working, with having a Yoruba woman as head. But there's a small minority, and I think it's a combination of things. One, it may be self-esteem. Two, it may be, you see, I think one of the things is this, is they forget, a lot of these people, certainly the ones in the diaspora, they forget that if you live in the UK, you've had women prime ministers. If you live in other parts of the world, in a lot of these places, you have women prime ministers and you didn't have the problem. So how is it that your own go that you're now going to be saying whatever it is you're saying? And then the other thing as well, which I think has an effect, is they've forgotten. You know, Auntie, I don't want to say, just because you speak Yoruba does not make you Yoruba in the head. They've forgotten that if you look at our history, our culture, our tradition, women have always had a seat at the table. They've forgotten. They think because they speak Yoruba, that means they're Yoruba. No, it's not just about language. It is about it is about your culture and your tradition. And in our culture, in our tradition, in fact, even with the stories of the legends around the Orishas, women have always been there. So how is it that you're claiming your Yoruba man and you want to forget centuries of your history? It's just like, either you don't know your history, you don't know your culture, you don't know your tradition, or you're a hypocrite. You see, because and this is one of the reasons why I salute Professor Benji Okutuye, because when he speaks, and he referred to this, I can't remember, his words were along the lines of that. A woman must always be, it is our culture. It is who we are. So if you're saying are you truly Yoruba to say you can't work with a woman? Really? Well, yeah, go and read your history, or go and read about your culture and your tradition. Do you see? And then, that's why, I don't get upset. And normally I don't respond, because it's like, what do you want me to say? Kill my soul. I'm not going to, what am I going to say? So, but people are entitled to their opinion, but a true Yoruba who knows their culture, their history, gone, they wouldn't be saying that.
Thank you, ma'am. Some people put some questions here. I'm going to ask you just about two, and then we are going to open the line. Maybe one or two people would like to call in and have one-to-one with you. So I don't want to debar them, or, not giving them the opportunity to talk to you. For someone, David Yombo Adewoyi wrote, how can the force majeure petition help us? How can it help us, the force majeure?
Because what it says is, if we go back to the proclamation, is it says that 2/3 or 3/4 of the, sometimes more than 2/3, 75%, 3/4 of the trapped nations have decided that they no longer wish to be part of it. And this is really, really important, that 75% of people can unite and make such a decision. And then you now take it to the UN, European Union, etc. Now, it by itself doesn't get us out of Nigeria. But what it does is it adds to the pressure that says, so you went to the UNPO, the Yoruba should be treated as a separate nation. You now do constitutional force majeure. So the international community can see that we're not just sitting on our laurels, we're not just sitting on our hands, we're taking action. So by itself, it's not going to do everything, but it adds to that pressure, it adds to the path that says, and that gives the world notice that it's disputed territory, and any business you do with the disputed territories at your, what's the word I'm looking for? At your, what's that caveat on tour? Let the buyer beware.
People are saying that on the 16th of December, we had the announcement that 90 days has been given to Nigerian government and to UN and to America and so on and so forth. What happens after the 90 days? Can you please educate us, please?
From memory, we can now start the process. I think I have to look, and the expert really is not me. The expert is Tony Nandi, because he's been working on this thing for, I don't know if it's up to a decade, but it's a long time. I think the next step would be that we can now start the steps for a referendum, towards getting a referendum. But part of the thing, I think I said it earlier, and it was some people were showing it online, it was actually, and this is why I said it's about pressure, it was actually discussed recently at the US Senate, I think it was the US Senate, or I can't remember one of the US houses of governors, about looking to appoint a envoy. And those of us who remember when an envoy was appointed for Ireland at the end of their troubles, we know what that means.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm just reading some questions. So please pardon me. Okay. So we had you now that after the 90 days, then it will be the referendum. Yes, if I'm right. Having
I
said
need to
that,
check
how is the
because I don't
petition going
have.
to help this?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot. There's actually a petition going round. My apologies, I completely forgot. There's actually a petition going round, and that petition we need as many of our people as possible to sign it. Because what that petition is added to the proclamation. And what that petition does is it says to the UN and so forth, these are the number of people who support this. So it's not just a bunch of people got up, and these are the number of ordinary people, the masses who support this. So yes, please, please, when you see the petition, it comes from the Alliance. Please add your name.
Thank you very much. So we've all heard now that we need to start signing that petition. I'm going to pin it now. Please, if you have not signed yours, I have signed mine. Please endeavor to sign it as soon as possible. It's very, very important, and we need to start, talking about it. The awareness is still very, very low. It's on the low side. So we need to start talking about it. We have villages, we have hamlets back home. People need to know about it. And this is one of the reasons why our mother is talking about this tonight. And so we want everybody to please take it on board and take it to your different platforms and talk about this petition in regards to this force majeure. It's very, very important. If you start counting, it started on the 16th of December. Before you know it, 90 days is just around the corner. And before you know it, it will just end like that. And if care is not taken, only God knows what can happen. So if you want to phone in, the line is open. Please call in. The line has been pinned by our daddy, the CEO of Heritage Multimedia Television. We appreciate you for a great job that you're doing. Without you, Kilafele Dashi, nothing. So thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. Listen, that number has been pinned. If you need to call in quickly because we want our mother to go and rest, the number is there. The direct number to call is +44 203. That's the landline. 983 7120. +44 2039 83 7120. And if you want to call the other line, everything is there being pinned for you. It is a direct line, that line phone. Please call in now, even to appreciate our mother for the great job this woman has been doing for us morning, day, and night. She deserves all the encomiums on earth that you can give to her. She deserves our applause. We need to be able to call in to show love, to appreciate her. She has been working behind. We are the only one shouting, making noise. But she sat behind. She took the back seat, and she's the one behind the steering, working very hard on our behalf. Please, please, let's call in. Let's show our love. Let's give thanks to her to say thank you, ma. Money, yini, kemi o le ṣe mí sí. So, ojú òpó wà ní ṣíṣí, nọ́mbà ni wọ́n ti bá wa pín nìyẹn. Ẹ̀yin náà ẹ ṣe kí ni ẹ pè wọlé. Tó bá tẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn kan àbí méjì. Most importantly, lára our agitators, to say thank you to this woman. She deserves that. Please, thank you so much for watching. While we're waiting for your call, Auntie Shola Salako, Mommy wa, Ìyá wa, Ẹ̀gbọ́n wa, Auntie wa. Well done, ma. On a final note, I don't know if you want to give a special advice to all Yorubas worldwide, especially those of us in diaspora. Like I said earlier on, we agitators, we start fighting each other, arguing, between each other. How can you, I mean, this is an opportunity for you to bring us together, to advise us, and the platform is yours, ma'am, to tell us how to comport ourselves and how to fight this cause, because it's for everybody. Thank you, ma'am. We are listening to you.
Okay, I think again, I want to repeat that we need to be kind to ourselves. We really must be kind to ourselves. And the example I give is that it's the human condition to disagree. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. In fact, sometimes, when you hear an idea, it's good to have that idea should be pushed and prodded, and it should be argued about and considered in detail. So I think we need to be kind to ourselves. I mean, look at we had a referendum in the UK to come out of the EU. Till today, people are still arguing, and I'm sure some of us who are in the UK will remember how unpleasant some of those arguments became. Very unpleasant at times. So I don't think the Yoruba people are we're not different in disagreeing. It's the nature of things. I think we just need to be kind to each other. We need to respect each other, and we need to treat each other with consideration. I might disagree with you. That's fine. We just agree to disagree and go our separate ways. And the other thing to remember, which is a lesson of history, and I'll give you an example. I was reading a book about Sudan. Now, after all, Sudan is another creation of the British in 1956, to be precise. After all they've been through, do you know that there were people who, when just before Sudan became recognized as a nation, there were Sudanese, African Sudanese, who were still working for and part of the Arab North government, because I don't know, they were working in source. Maybe they were afraid of what, or maybe they were afraid. Maybe it was just better for them on the personal level, the money they were getting. And then it was after Sudan now got its independence, they now left. Do you see? Now, you would think with all that, from reading this book, I was like, wow, how is it that with all that Sudan went through, the war, I mean, anyone who knows the South Sudan story, well, no, it was a very long battle. So we just need to be kind to ourselves. Nobody gets, and I can't see, I'm still reading. I have yet to come across 100% unity. And you don't need 100% unity. You don't. You need focused people. And people are entitled to disagree. But I think the best thing is, if you don't agree, don't agree to disagree. Don't seek to destroy your fellow Yoruba person just because you don't agree. Do you know what I mean? It's the best thing to do.
We're all guilty, including myself. We're all guilty in this area, including myself. But thank you for that piece of advice. God bless you, man. We have some callers already. They are calling in to probably greet you or to ask you questions, to appreciate you. So let's have our callers before we round it up. You're very much welcome to this talk show. Hello. Hello, sir. We can hear you, sir. Go ahead. We can hear you, sir. Okay. Let's have somebody else. The line is still very much open. So call in 102 before we round it up. We appreciate you so much, ma'am. Thank you for advising us. We need it, including myself. Thank you, ma'am. Is anyone there?
You have a call.
Okay. Good evening, you are welcome. Hello, is anyone there? Okay, so I just need a caller, either one or two calls before I end this chat for tonight. Another day I'll bring our mother again. So, but for tonight, 2 more calls, just 2 calls, and then we end it. We call it a day. The number again is +44 20 39 83 7120. Thank you so much. Keep calling. Okay. If no one is calling, we are going to round it up, and I'm going to give our mother the opportunity, the chance to address us all generally before she bid bye-bye to us. So I don't know if you have any other thing to say to us, ma'am, before we let you go. God bless you, ma'am. The floor is yours.
I want to thank you, Madame Erelu. Thank you very much for having me here. I am grateful for the opportunity to express and to talk about.
We have a caller.
Hello, caller. Okay.
Go ahead. Hello, caller. We are struggling to hear you.
Hello, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
this line is bad.
We can hear you, ma'am.
The line is bad. I don't
orúkọ mi ni ọkùnrin ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ orúkọ mi ni ọlọ́jẹ́ Samuel.
Okay, Mr. Simon, à ń gbọ́ yín sá, ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ sókè.
So mo láti kí àwọn mo kí olóòtú pé wọ́n kú ètò. Mo dẹ̀ kí àwọn màmá wa náà pé wọ́n kú ètò. Bẹ̀tì nípa ti petition yẹn, wọ́n ṣe pin nọ́mbà yìí tán bá lè bá wa pin ẹ̀ sí orí screen báyìí lórí YouTube, so gbogbo àwọn èèyàn á lè like láti máa sign rẹ̀, because we are rí petition yẹn rárá and they like láti sign rẹ̀, so really wà tí mo fi pè nìyẹn. Ẹ̀rẹ̀ bá wa kí wọ́n bá wa kí wọ́n push out takuntakun ojú ẹ̀rọ wa wọ́n ṣe gan.
Thank you, sir. Bàbá wa ẹni ṣe jẹjẹ bá wa pín ní petition yẹn right now. Èèyàn kan wà bí báyìí, mo rò bọ́n ti try bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kò wọlé bóyá a máa gbọ́ wọn bí. Ok, madam, máa ń gbọ́ yín o. À ń gbọ́ yín mà.
You have a call.
À ń gbọ́ yín. Good evening, ma.
You have a call.
It's not connecting. Sorry, ma.
Mo kí Madame Shola Salako Kọ́lá àgbà ẹkùn lórúkọ tèmi láti ìlú Canada. À ń dúró ní o, gbogbo iṣẹ́ yín là ń rí o, obìnrin bí ọkùnrin, òjò àgbè wa o, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun o, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o, inú wa dùn láti mọ̀ yín o, Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa ràn yín lọ́wọ́, Olúwa á túbọ̀ máa fún yín ṣe o. Mo tún wá fẹ́ béèrè kan kí n tó kúrò mọ́. A rí fúláàgì kan tó wà lẹ́yìn yín yẹn. Àtiwárí àwọn fúláàgì míì náà níta mà, ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè ṣàlàyé fún wa ìyàtọ̀? Ẹ ṣeun, a dúpẹ́.
Ami. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for calling in. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you. Thank you, ma'am.
You have a call.
I think our guest heard what my caller said. She said she appreciates you a lot. She learned a lot from you today in terms of this Yoruba agitation. So she's full of appreciation. However, she said the old petition is saying that it's only meant for UK. So she's telling us now, if there's another one, especially for this force majeure, we need to put it as a new one and make it open that anybody can sign it, either Nigeria, anywhere in the whole world. That's our advice. On top of it, I mean, the most important thing is that she came out to appreciate you, ma. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'll check that because the petition was prepared by someone who has knowledge of and works at the UN, and it's supposed to be open to everybody to sign. So I'm surprised. It's not just for the UK; it's for the Yorubas everywhere. And as far as I'm aware, people from different countries have been signing it. So, if possible, maybe if I can go on the website I'm going to double check and ask them to put it on the website because I'm concerned that she might be talking about another petition because the petition that was prepared by the Alliance to go with the constitutional force majeure was prepared for everybody. You know, wherever you are in the world, you should be able to sign it.
Okay.
So maybe what we'll do.
Everybody should be able to sign that one. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah, everybody. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about
everybody.
Can you tell us a little bit about this Ilana Omo Oodua website? Maybe people can visit that website to sign this petition as well.
Yeah. Benny, you're right.
Please tell us, give us the link or talk about the website a little bit and give the information out to people.
Yes. Okay. So Ilana Omo Oodua has a website and it carries information of the organization and various things we've been doing. The website is www.ilanaomooodua.org. That's www.ilanaomooodua.org. All that is one word. So Ilana, so that's www.ilanaomooodua.org. All of it is one word.
Okay. What our mother just give out to us is the detail of their website is www.ilanaomooodua.org. Is it .com or .org?
.org.
.org. That is their website. Please visit www.ilanaomooodua.org. Yeah, please. Thank you. We have some callers as well. Hello. me, I got that I'm struggling.
Hello? Hello?
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sà.
Hello?
Àgbọ̀ rárá.
Hello?
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sà, à ń gbọ́ yín sà. Hello sà.
Hello?
À ń gbọ́ yín sà.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello sà.
Are you hearing me?
Yes sir.
Yes, are you hearing me?
À ń gbọ́ yín sà. Daddy ẹ̀ hold on sir.
Okay, yeah, I want to, my name is Chris Akindado from Canada. And I just want to, when I was told that you have this program, and I was eager to listen to you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
I want to appreciate your time, and I want to appreciate your efforts on what you have said today. And I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, sir.
My question is this. We have this petition. On this freedomfromnigeria.com, the petition is not clear. And I see somebody has already posted that petition on another website, which I've already signed and I've forwarded to all my friends. But the thing I want to ask you is this. Is Ilana looking for maybe working with other groups, similar groups with similar vision? Because as I said, one group alone cannot take a race out of bondage. All the groups need to work together. Can Ilana identify those groups and work with such groups so that we can, when we work together, it shall be one shall chase 1,000 and two shall put 10,000 to flight? That is just my question to you. Are we working with other groups of people who have similar vision so that this journey will be faster? Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you, sir. I think our mother had what our father just said, that is that time that we all work together, different groups. One group may not be able to, afford their head alone. So we need each other. A tree does not make a forest. That is what our father is trying to say. That is that time that we all work together and come together because we are one. We are not two, we are not three, we are not four. So we are one. It doesn't matter, we may have 20 groups, but we are still one Yoruba, one, very strong family. So we should be able to work together without any fear or fight. I don't know if our mother wants to say something to that, but before then, he also said that the link is not clear enough on some website. So we need to make it clear to people so that it can be accessible to everybody. This is very, very important. And those people that are behind this link, this petition, they have to come together and make it so easy for every one of us to access it and sign it as soon as possible. We need this as quickly as possible. We are too slow in giving awareness about this force major 90 days to people. So thank you so much. We have one of our fathers here. He's been waiting here patiently. He's the OPU father worldwide, pastor or evangelist or Ajiboye. So that is here. Let's hear from him before we call it a day. I know a lot of people want to speak with you, but the phone is messing up today. So just bear with us. Daddy, go ahead, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it's the same advice, ma'am, that we need to work together. You are working directly with Baba Kitoe. So what Baba is saying and what everybody is saying and what I personally stand for is unity. Unification among all the leaders, the elders. Enough of segregation. Enough of saying, oh, I belong to this, I belong to that, I can't work with this. When are we going to unite ourselves? So it has to start from somewhere. So we're asking you as our mother, as our leader, to please take that mantle, take it by the horn, take the bull by the horn, and we want you to, work for us. We are begging you, what we cannot do, we expect you to be able to achieve it because you are at the top. We are following you. So please, we need to be able to work together. In terms of the media, we've been fighting ourselves, just like I said, but we are making moves so that we can all come together and work together and forget about the past. There's no way that we will not fight ourselves. It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran that we must argue, we must disagree. But once this happens, so we must meet in the middle, find a way to meet in the middle and settle our differences so that we can continue to move forward. So thank you everybody for your time. I know, a host of you want to call in and you're still calling in, but the line has been very, very, disappointing and hardly both of us are struggling to hear it. But thank you so much. We appreciate you. I think there's somebody over there. So let's see if we can take this caller and then we end the chat. Please share this. Share this. And I want to appeal to all of you. There's someone waiting. Okay. You're welcome to the chat.
Okay, she. Mo lu ìyá wa onílẹ̀gbẹ̀ẹ́ ni gbogbo ìgbà tí ẹ bá ti ń ṣètò ìlú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlúwàbí. Mo kí ìyá wa Salako náà wọn kú fọmọnìyàn ṣe. Èmi ò gbé ìbò. Èmi Yorùbá mo gbọ́. Ṣé mo lè béèrè ìbéèrè mi lédè Yorùbá? Ẹ ṣeun. Ìbéèrè mi ni wípé kí ni àwọn ìyá wa ń ṣe ní pàtàkì jùlọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn obìnrin? Ìdí tí mo sì fi béèrè ìbéèrè yìí, ṣé ẹ rí tí àwọn ìyá wa bá ti dìde sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ní ó ti lójú? Kò sí káàtúntò yìí ẹ̀gbọ́n. Torí náà ńkọ́ tí ó bá ní ìgbésẹ̀ kan ti gbé tó bá dẹ̀ tún ní ilé ìtúnṣe fún gbé, á lo àkókò yìí àǹfààní tán ní ká fi sọ fún àwọn ènìyàn wa ní pàtàkì àwọn obìnrin torí pé àwọn ló ní orílẹ̀-èdè gbogbo wọn lórílẹ̀-èdè tí jáde wá. Ètò kọ́yìn nínú ìbéèrè yìí ọ̀rọ̀ pé à ń sign petition àwọn kan sì sọ pé petition fẹ́ kọ ó sì wà lọ́nà lóòrùn tí ìjáde eléyìí tí wọ́n wá ń sọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó jáde mo fẹ́ kí wọ́n là á ní sàn-án tó yé wa pé kò ní ilé ìfẹ́ pọ̀ ní o bí báyìí náà ti kọ́ o kò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣe lálàyé tó gbọ́ àwọn èèyàn dáadáa torí wọ́n sọ pé eléyìí tí gbogbo Yorùbá lápapọ̀ náà kọ ìyẹn ń bọ̀ lọ́nà pé wọ́n bẹ̀ sí nílò àwọn alẹ́ tó pọ̀ lórí ìwẹ̀. Èdè tó tún dàbí rẹ̀ òun ni wípé ní ọdún Sunday bàbá wa Akíntóyè àtúngbé ọgọ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kan máa múra sílẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé o gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá táwa lórí ìkànnì àtúnlé tó tún padà yẹn ọdún ayọ̀ láṣẹ àwọn ní ìbànújẹ́ sọdún ìyẹn ní tọmọtọmọ fún mi sọ ní wa lọ́wọ́ orúkọ tèmi ní ẹ̀rí gbèmí ẹ̀fọ́ àwòkọ rẹ.
Ẹ ṣeun sà. So I know it's very, very faint. You hardly could hear anything. I believe so, Auntie Shola. What our father said is from America. His name is Baba Arupoire. And what he's trying to tell us is that we women, we are not working enough. He's asking, what are we doing as women? What are you doing to bring all the women? What are all women doing to bring us together? So that, in anything that women are involved, it comes up, quickly. Women have that power, to move mountains, but we are not doing much. Is it because they do not have the awareness? Or is it because they don't understand what is happening? So what our father is saying is that, listen, we need to be able to work on our women so that we can quickly get to our promised land. Yes? And he also mentioned about this petition as well. There are so many petitions, they are not clear, and so on and so forth. It's all about what you've been hearing before. So where are we going to start now? Where are we going from here? Because the issue of this petition is worrying.
You have a call.
Yes? And I'm appealing to Heritage, to Ilana Oodua, to whoever is behind all this petition, to make it simple and accessible. So I don't know if you have something to say. At the end of it, our father appreciates you a lot. He is a known presenter, well-known worldwide. And for him to be on this platform is a plus to me. So Baba Rukweri, thank you, sir. So I don't know if you want to say anything because this line is so faint. I have to actually enter the thing for me to feel, of what people are telling us.
I just want to thank the caller from Canada about working with other groups. We will and we do. I want to thank this Baba Arokoire and say that he's absolutely right. Absolutely right about women working and getting involved. Absolutely right. And I'm hoping one of the reasons I'm happy to be here is I hope that by you're a woman, I'm a woman, and we're both in what some might consider leadership positions, that will encourage other women to step forward. We do want more women. We do have women, but we do want more women. And we hope, as I said, seeing you there, sitting there interviewing, and me sitting responding, that will encourage women, because he's absolutely right. It's going to take all of us, and we need more of our women to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. On a final note, I'm going to say a big thank you to our mother. We invited her even though she's a very cool person, she doesn't talk too much. But then we called her, we invited her, and she said, okay, this is what you want. If this will help the Yorubas to come together, especially in diaspora, so be it. And she's a one-woman battalion that believes in all our vision. She's not someone that segregates, that will say, oh, this is Ilana Omo Oodua. I don't want to work with that. I've known her, not in person. I think this is the second time that I've seen her face-to-face one-on-one. Don't get me wrong, but this is my very first time of talking at length with this great woman. She's an icon, either you like it or not. She's a woman of virtue, woman to be respected all the time. And I appreciate you wholeheartedly, madam. Thank you so much for coming to this show. And I'm going to give you opportunity to appreciate your Yoruba people for coming, for being supportive, for appreciating you, for showing you love. Please appreciate them before you leave us, man. God bless you, man.
Eshu. I'm so grateful, so thankful. What's the word? Inú mi dùn gan, with all the love, all the support that I have received, and all the support that we receive from all our people, both at home and in the diaspora, to come together to build a Yoruba nation. You know, we may not, some of us may not see it, but people are working hard for this vision. And I can't thank you enough. Like I say, Eshe Popo, Eshe Gone. And part of that, as our people showed, is how they came out in force on the 1st of October. I could not believe all these pictures, Malaysia, Canada, this part of the US, the other parts of the US, London. I can't even remember the countries. Countries I didn't even know we had people in. Even Ukraine, I'm like, oh, really? So, I can't, from the bottom of my heart, and may the coming year.
Koiki Media is here. I'm telling you, almost majority of the agitators are here. Not because of me, because they see me all the time. They are here because of you. And honestly, you are very special to them. Because what you are verbalizing to us today is telling us to come together as one body, because the head can never work without the body. And no, the other hand can never work without the other hand. That's what you're telling us today. And that is the reason why everybody, all the great names, they are here just to listen to you.
Wow.
So you're telling us that you're not for Ilana Oodua, you are for everybody, all Yorubas. And that is why you see them here. So I really want you to appreciate them. Even if you can't speak Yoruba, say it in English. We have all the, you name them. They are all here watching you this evening, ma. Especially Heritage that has been behind the scene. I want you to appreciate him. It's been very, very wonderful. This guy does not rest for a second. He works every minute, day and night. Please appreciate him in your own words, madam. God bless you, ma.
Okay, I want to, all right, let me start from the individual first. I'm going to appreciate you for your kindness, from your beautiful words, all those kind words you said. I don't know what to say. I'm so speechless. So many beautiful words. And then I'm going to, yes, so we must appreciate our sister in the house. So I will now I'll now move on to Heritage. You're absolutely right. When he was something.
Akinola is also here.
You have a call.
Can you imagine? George Akinola is here. So we have big names, all for you, not for me, all for you. You're so special.
You keep dropping these, you keep dropping them. So let me move on to Mr. Heritage. I want to thank him very much for all that he did. You're right, behind the scenes. Before we started, he was telling me, change this setting, do this setting, do this, so that everything will work. I want to appreciate Koiki. I did meet him at the London rally. I think it was in September. I know how much he does, and I'm grateful for that. I also want to thank everybody. I don't know where to start. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank, when I say everybody, I mean all of our people. I'm so, I said this before, I'm so grateful, so thankful. So the only way I can say is, I really like that word, Inumidu. Inumidu go, the way we have come together. And are you laughing? Oh, really? We have come together. But our people, when we are ready, we know how to unite and we know how to support. I want to thank Mr. George Akinola because I owe him so much. He has supported me. There are times when I wasn't sure whether or not I could continue, but he continues to support me. And this is why, the question you asked earlier about those people that say they can't work with women leaders. And and part of the thing is, when they say, I said that, how can you say that if you understand Yoruba history, Yoruba culture, Yoruba tradition? And that man understands it like nobody, like wow. Every time I will speak, I'm learning. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you wherever you are, whether you're in the US, in the US subcontinent, whether you're in South America, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Asia, whether you're in wherever you are in the world. I want to thank you. I really am grateful that you're taking the time to listen to us, to engage, and I hope that you found this useful. And I hope that you will continue to support us. Don't forget the 1st of January, the day of mourning. Don't forget to mark it if you are able to. And just to remind you, my vision is to mobilize the entire Yoruba diaspora for the emancipation of the Yoruba nation. So if you want to get in touch, you can go through the website, or if you leave your details, then we'll get them. So again, thank you all. Erelu, what can I say? So Eshe.
You see,
even when you finish now, you're not going to call you afterwards. Thank you.
I want you to laugh. I want you to smile and laugh and leave off. You know what? Confession time. And I have to make this confession before you go. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Some people said you have to learn this Yoruba, and I'm going to be your teacher. Yeah?
Okay.
So, vice versa. You have to teach me how to speak good English. And vice versa, I'll be teaching you Yoruba language. Yeah? And the proverbs, your way, and so on and so forth. Having said that, confession time. You remember the very first day we met? I met you on the 13th, the very first rally that we had on the 13th of September. Right in front of number 10 Downing Street, if you remember. I want to jot your memory before you go. And then you came over, and then you took the mic and you wanted to talk. And I was like, who the hell is she? She's not talking here today, because if she's from that group, it's not happening. I do not want to hear any group. It's about Yoruba. And guess what? And I was fuming right there. And Mr. Heritage walked to me and he said, that is Shola Salako, okay? And she's not for any group. She's the international, she's the leader of the diaspora, YWC. Then there was YWC, yeah? And he said, please calm down. She's very calm. She's not that kind of a woman. Erelu, please, let her talk. And you started talking. And I was like, oh my goodness. This woman is so cool and collected. She's so knowledgeable. And, I just feel it within me that I want to associate myself with this intelligent woman. But I don't know how to do it. So I'm confessing to you. So this is an opportunity when Mr. Are Bolariwa now said, oh, I want you two to work together. And this woman I want you to interview this woman. And I was like, oh, that's an opportunity for me to talk to this woman. So I want to say to you, thank you. It's like you're saying thank you to me for having you, and I'm saying thank you to you for this opportunity you gave to me, or you give to me to interact with you. Thank you so much. No one is an island. We learn from each other. We have to, cultivate that idea, attitude of learning. Life is a long learning. We learn on daily basis. Yeah. So I want to say thank you, ma'am, for coming. You're now my friend, my sister, my mother, everything. You are my mentor. And I love you genuinely. Thank you for coming on this show. On behalf of my very self and my boss, Heritage Multimedia Television, everybody on this platform, all different groups worldwide, I appreciate you on their behalf. Thank you for coming. And we look forward to host you, to having you again another time, another day. Thank you so much. God bless you. And have a peaceful, restful night. Merry Christmas to you, ma. God bless you. Merry Christmas to your husband, to your children, and to your lovely family. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.
Bless you. Bless you.
Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tèmi. Pápákọ̀ la fẹ́ fi ṣe o. Ìgbà tó tiẹ̀ ti jọ́rọ̀ lóyìnbó yẹn, orí ti ń fọ́ mi, orí ti ń kọ́ mi pé hey, máa gé àwọn mi jẹ lónìí. Wọ́n ti mú kàn ṣáàwó pé wá ṣáàsọ náà ni. Ìṣáà ṣe pé àlè sọ tátàtà tí bá lè sọ yẹn, I'm going to, say it. And thank God, with your support, with God's support, your support, Heritage support, and every one of you out there, you made life so easy for me. So thank you so much. One thing I want you to know is that from me, I don't know any other person. From me, from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I'm not fighting anyone. We are going to come together. I think 2 weeks ago, Pastor Okebiorun has been calling me. This man called me the first time and said, and I was like, I don't know who this person is because I did not store his number anymore. And he went, Emini, Pastor Okebiorun. And, he talked to me in a very subtle way. And Ojaki realized that there's need for us to work together. He said, okay, group I'm not asking you guys to come and join the group. Erelu, I just want all the medias to work together as enough is enough. And I listened. This man was talking me through so many things, taking me through the Bible, taking me through the past, what has happened in the past between us. And he said, listen, igba money. So let us come together. Let us work together. And I said, thank you, sir. Reply. And I'm like, night ni mo nse. Mo se pari night ni. Eni ni the first day ti mo lo day shift. And day shift mo ti sa ere wa. February mi bi mo se sa ere wole because traffic po. 8 lo ye ka bẹ̀rẹ̀ program. I rushed myself home. Mo sáré lọ change. In fact, orí camera ni mo ti dress up, So, ẹ má bínú sí mi. So, bàbá yẹn sọ wípé, ìgbà wo lẹ máa pè mí padà Erelu? Mo ní, ẹ fún mi ní few days before the end of the week, I'll call you back. Guess what? I did not call this man of God. Yeah? He called me back again after a week. And he said, Erelu, pè mí. Anyway, it's a jakafi pè mí yẹn sílẹ̀. Wọ́n pè mí pé ẹ jẹ́ ká celebrate ara wa. Mo fẹ́ gbé ẹ̀yin ní díà jáde kẹ́ lọ jẹun. Mo wá lọ jẹun, èmi ni máa sanwó ẹ̀. That's what he told me. He said, we need to start coming together. Ká gbàgbé past wa. Ká make a move. Láti work together. Kò matter group A, group títí di Z. Yeah, Yorùbá kan náà ni wá. Ipe ẹ̀yin ni mo gbélé lọ́wọ́ o. Ẹ bá mi pé gbogbo àwọn mídíà ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde ká lọ jẹun. And I said, all right, sir. Níbo lẹ fẹ́ gbé wa lọ? Wọ́n ní kíbíkíbi tó bá wù yín, tó bá jẹ́ 805, tó bá jẹ́ this, ẹ lọ choose ibi tẹ́ bá fẹ́, tẹ́ bá ti ready, ẹ pè mí. And I said, okay. Up till now, mi fún wọn ní feedback. You know what? Mo fẹ́ discuss pẹ̀lú heritage. Mo fẹ́ discuss pẹ̀lú individual. Mo fẹ́ pe David Hamilton. Mo fẹ́ pe Koiki. Mo fẹ́ pe AY. Mo fẹ́ pe everybody. Gbẹ̀du ni, mo fẹ́ pe everybody 101. But ẹ̀rù ń bà mí àti ti pè. Torí ayé recording la dẹ̀ wà yìí ń sìn. Kí má tún pè tán. Kó má tún di pé Erelu wípé ó sọ pé, so, mo ń try láti relax pé I don't know how to go about it. So, mo ń dúró pé kí heritage kí wọ́n bá mi ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yẹn. But heritage kẹ̀dẹ̀ rí, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn, up and down ni. Ojoojúmọ́ ni mo bá wọn jà pé wọn ní time fún mi. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jọkọ àti ìyàwó gan, báyìí yẹn màá ti kọ́ báyìí now, honestly. But we thank God. I'm at work on it nítorí pé kò sí ẹni tó gbọ́n tán láyé yìí. We are bound to make mistakes and we are bound to correct it. Ibi iṣẹ́ à ń ṣe mistake wọn torí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wà níbi iṣẹ́. Láàárín ọmọ ìyá ọmọ bàbá wa ń ṣe mistake wọn torí bẹ́ẹ̀ kò wá lọ́mọ ìyá. So why tó fi jẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Odùduwà tó bá jẹ́ pé genuinely gbogbo wa fẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́? Why not tí gbogbo òfin lè come together ká gbàgbé differences wa? So I'm using this opportunity. I'm saying my own, me sorted to me. I'm just saying it as it is in my mind that we need to come together and work together. When you are in Pomejo, we shouldn't be talking indifferently. Gbogbo wa ní láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ ní ohun kan náà ni. Reason yẹn tó fi jẹ́ pé a ti ṣe mistake yẹn láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ó ti yẹ ká ti ní nǹkan tí wọ́n pè ní what do you call it? Understanding láàrin gbogbo wa ká ti pera wa pé okay, this is what we want to do and this is how we should be doing it. But unfortunately, we didn't do that, and that is why tí ọwọ́ kan fi lọ sọ́wọ́ ọ̀tún tí kejì ń lọ sọ́wọ́ òsì tí òun wọ̀ papọ̀. But it's high time now that we make amendments and we resolve our differences and work together. So I want to use this golden opportunity to say a wonderful, a big one, thank you, appreciation to every single one of you. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. You give glory to God. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹlẹgbẹ́ wa ló ti kú, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹlẹgbẹ́ wa ló ti lọ, ṣùgbọ́n àwa wà láyé àwa láàyè kì í ṣe mímọ̀ ṣe wa o. Kò dẹ́ ń ṣe pé a mọ̀ ọ́n rìn. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run kò àánú la rí gbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórin yẹn pé àánú la rí gbà adé orí ọ̀gbìn. Adé orí tiwa gan ni. Ọlọ́run kọjú sí wa ṣe lóore, ó ṣàánú wa, ó kà wá yẹ, ó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ Christmas. Àwọn tá a jọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ 1st January, àwọn ọ̀dà wọn ti lọ. Yes, àtúmọ̀ ẹni tó tún máa kàn. Kò ní kàn wá o, ibi oníkẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan ló wà o. A ní gbéra wa gbé bí iṣu o, bí ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀. Tó títí di ọjọ́ míì tí màá tún ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti wá sórí ètò yìí. Ó possible, ẹ lè má rí mi lórí ètò yìí for the rest of the week. Because I'm back on days, and láti ọ̀la Christmas, I'm working tomorrow. I'm going to be with my children for like in the morning. In the afternoon, I'm working till 10. On Saturday, Boxing Day, I'm doing long day. On Sunday, I'm doing long day. So, what's the time? Let's come out. So, bear with me. Next week, by the special grace of God, I will have the opportunity to come out again. I have a lot of people to bring on our cyber space to celebrate them, people that are working very hard, even the medias. Bí bá pastor òkè bí ọ̀run ṣe sọ, ó yẹ ká máa celebrate ara wa. I can bring heritage out. I want to interview you. I can bring AY. I can bring any one of us. Láti pé kán wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. In fact, bó ṣe àwọn Lady B l'Amẹ́ríkà ni, ọmọ ọba ni, I can bring them on this chat láti celebrate ara wa. Iṣẹ́ là ń ṣe o. Tí àwọn èèyàn kan bá rò bá àṣìṣe, we have been working very, very hard. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ lọ́bẹ̀ ẹlẹ́sàn. Alálẹ̀ Yorùbá san fún wa. Tó títí di ọjọ́ míì, ọjọ́ rí. Ọpẹ́ pàtàkì lọ sọ́dọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ Heritage Multimedia Television fún gbogbo ṣíṣe yín, bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n lọ́ọ̀kì wa dáhùn ó yọ lọ́hùn ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé 2021 oòrùn máa ràn a máa jáde síta ìgbà ọ̀tún máa dé fún wa either they like it or not. So títí di ọjọ́ mi ọjọ́ rẹ̀ èmi tí ń tòótọ́ Erelu Abike Ade èmi arìngbẹ̀rẹ̀ bí ẹni ẹ̀gbẹ́ ń dùn ọmọ ajílálẹ̀ ìṣọ̀ àfojoojúmọ́ dára bí egbin ọmọ ẹ̀wọ̀n kìtìpá àjẹsà kẹ́wọ̀n má jà kí jẹ̀sà má dẹyọ ọmọ àṣẹ bí wọ́n ti bí ọmọ ẹlẹ́yìnkùlé àdéwúre ọmọ amúmọlọ́mọ wálé wá jẹun ọmọ owó lódò oko ọmọ àrìmọ̀nà gbé sínú àgbàdo ọmọ olúlòkọ àṣeyẹjẹ èmi ní ògùdù ìra òlé àárọ̀ ọmọ ògùn rírọ ọmọ ògùn àìrọ títí di ọjọ́ míì ọjọ́ rẹ̀ ká sùn re o ká pàdé láyọ̀ Merry Christmas ọdún ayọ̀ la máa ṣe o bàbá ṣe ń jẹun tá à ń mu ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí má jẹ́ àwẹ̀sì oúnjẹ o àwọn kan wà wọn ò rí jẹ wọn ò rí mu wọn wojú Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí wọn nínú jíjẹ wa níbi tá a ti ń mu ká máa ṣẹ́ díẹ̀díẹ̀ kù ó ṣe £1 la lè rí fún èèyàn kan ta ní kó lọ fi ra milk ta ní kó fi ra nǹkan jẹ àti tọwọ́ bà kù ọlọ́run àdé ẹ̀wọ̀ láàyè àtúnṣe wa lóore so mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín tó tọ́dún yìí fi máa parí àní gbọ́bí lórí ẹnikẹ́ni ẹrù tábíàmọ òkè ń tú wọn ní pé wá sí ẹnu ọ̀nà wa ayé ní bọ́ bàtà ọ̀fọ̀ sí ẹnu ọ̀nà wa rántí let's keep safe wash your hand all the time sanitize it stop touching your nose stop touching your face be careful be watchful and tàbá lọ sí ibi tẹ́ fíìrì bí wọ́n tẹ̀ sí ní ká má jáde tí a fall hour we don't know when they are going to review it and bring it down to 3 or to 2 but for the meantime let us keep safe títí dìgbà tá a tún máa pàdé ó dìgbà.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Oodua Nation.